EA Games teams up with Marvel to bring about the rise of the imperfects in Marvel Nemisis, a game promised to be similar to great 3D fighting titles like the late great Power Stone for the Sega Dreamcast, but falls short in just about every way it can.
You really disappoint me. What do we have here?
Following the story in Nemisis is like trying to put together a puzzle upside down. It's random, fragmented, and hard to understand. You may find yourself skipping through most of the cutscenes, even if you've read the comic series the game is based on. The main bad guy is Niles Van Rokel, a human-looking alien who tries to invade Earth and create a perfect being. He's built his own line of supervillains called the Imperfects, that are mostly just Frankenstein rejects.
You're grounded!
Throughout the story, you have to find and fight each of them one-on-one. Sometimes, the game will let you control one of these characters against a Marvel hero you were just fighting with. This is an interesting change of pace, but one that can get confusing if you don't realize which one you're playing as.
You kidding, right?
As a two-player fighting game, Nemisis does a poor job of staying fun. You have one attack button that does 1, 2, or 3 hit combo depending on your character. There's a grab button for picking up and throwing an object or enemy, a jump button, block button, and mobility button for making characters float, teleport, or swing depending on their special abilities. There's also a super power button, which you hold to do more powerful attacks. This usually adds a projectile attack, one more attack combo, and a slightly different throw, and that's it. To unlock all the characters, you have to play story mode, but you can't pick a character and play through the game like other fighting games. You start as the Thing. Then after a fight, you choose to be Wolverine or the Thing again, and the game branches off into different stories. This gives you the option to play one of 4 characters in what seem like character-specific missions, like checking out the Avengers Mansion or destroying alien computers. But each character goes to the same areas, and there's only 7 of them. This makes the story mode repetitive and a little silly, because the heroes obviously don't make a great team if they have to go back to the same locations repeatedly by themselves.
That webhead is so unreliable.
The majority of the story mode is spent fighting hordes of aliens, and yet the game doesn't give you a multi-target or area attack. If you're surrounded, you have to punch your way out one cyborg at a time. There are also explosive objects randomly scattered throughout each area that send you flying through the air or against a wall if you damage them. These are helpful if you manage to pick one up and use it, but annoying when one of them goes off and sends you into another, which sends you into another, which traps you in the corner under a constant barrage of enemy fire. Being outnumbered with such basic controls in explosive environments makes the gameplay incredibly sloppy and unbalanced. The only element of Marvel Nemisis that gives it any kind of replay value is the one-on-one multiplayer. But with such massive environments, it should support up to 4 characters instead of just 2. And with the awkward control and limited powers, even playing against a friend as some of the greatest Marvel heroes of all time can get frustrating.
You haven't even seen my best moves yet!
Unfortunately, the game looks as bad as it plays. Marvel Nemisis has a surprising amount of glitches, flash frames are almost constant, and characters disappear during cutscenes or reappear in odd places. Each hero only has 1 or 2 intro and outro catchphrases, which means their clever dialogue gets old really quick.
You gotta be kidding!
And each of them only has 1 finishing move, which means their powers get repetitive too. Every part of the story takes place at night, so all the cinemas and environments are very dark. And the imperfect origin stories are told in live-action, color-treated cutscenes that try their best to look as good as Sin City, but leave you longing for computer animation. To give the game some credit, the animation and movements of each character are fun to watch, while they're performing their signature moves like Spider-Man shooting a web ball between his legs, or Iron Man flying around on his rocket boots, or Daredevil using his baton whip to throw enemies around. This game will hopefully be in the bargain bin within a month, so if you really need to play it, wait. Rise of the Imperfects is rushed and unfinished, and it shows. It had such potential, but it falls into the huge pile of EA games that lack polish and heart. Marvel Nemesis will leave you with sore fingers and a bad mood.
Ouch! You're gonna feel that in the morning.